she called it funfetti. And I was like, what? What the hell's funfetti? And I had never heard this before. And I'm like, woman, it's rainbow chip? What do you mean funfetti? I'd never heard the term.
Yeah, motherfucker. We're gonna take it up a few notches right now. See if y'all can keep up.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 67 of the ScruffCast. I'm John.
And I'm Caolan.
Yes, last week, you may remember, I told you Dan was away, so I would bring in a couple of guest hosts over the next 2 weeks. And week number 1, pulled in Caolan. You may remember him from episode Spreading the Good Cheese. I don't remember the episode number.
I think it was Spreading... Oh, I don't remember the number, but I remember the name of the episode of the previous one. Because it was a callback to the same episode name. Because it was Spreading the Good Turd.
Ah, yes. You were on, I think that was like episode 14. So, oh, geez.
So I'm going to do everything I can to come up with a reference to spreading. Oh, that sounded weird. Well, I'm going to come up with a reference anyways and make John do all the Photoshop work. Because I don't want him to get out of practice just because Dan's not here.
Yeah, sometimes my Photoshops, I'm just kind of lazy. Take it easy.
I mean, every time I see my face photoshopped into one of your YouTube videos, I know, wow, they phoned that one in.
Well, sometimes worse. I literally just pick an image and there's no Photoshop going on. I just put this little ScruffCast logo.
I mean, if you put the logo on another image, that's layering.
Sure, I just have like a template. I take an image and just pop it in there, and it's already got like a little.
I think so long as
corner,
you end up saving a file name in Photoshop. You've used Photoshop, right?
Fair enough. Listeners, if you're staring at that Photoshop picture, whether I put in any effort besides layering or not, give it a thumb up right now on YouTube.
That's
you
right.
might see in the top corner there, follow us on ScruffCast.
That's right.
Or follow us on Twitter at ScruffCast. Jeez, I'm a little out of sorts today.
You're all right, John. Keep it going. You got Instagram.
We got Instagram. You can follow us there at the ScruffCast. And you can email us at scruffcast@gmail.com, just like none of the listeners did this week. We have no listener emails to go off of.
You know what? I think they saw the opportunity for Dan taking a couple of weeks off, and they said, you know what? Maybe we don't need to put in the effort. Calling you out, Danny.
The ScruffCast keeps rolling. Well, to be fair, last week we did break the email record.
I suppose you have to average out to like an email and a half a week over your whole run. So if you get 5 1 week, you know you're going dry for 2 weeks.
Fair enough, listeners. You let us down. Anyways, we don't really have much of an agenda this week. There's no question to ponder. We killed that off. It was up to listeners to write in and bring us new questions that they'd like us to answer. There was no email, so there was no questions. So let's just kick into it, which we don't really have much. It's going to be a little bit of a free-flowing episode, but I think it's a little different. We got a guest host on, feeling good. Caolan sitting over there. He's got the blanket wrapped around him.
I've got the blanket.
Sipping his tea, looking all bougie.
Mm-hmm.
Feeling good. Episode 67. First thing I had in the notes was Dan's away, so Caolan's guest hosting. We've already gone over that. The next thing I have here... So, listeners, I sent Caolan a message. I said, okay, think of some topics, because, we don't read articles anymore. And Caolan said, I'd like to talk about women's tennis.
Oh, yes.
Because recently, the U.S. Open, Women's U.S. Open...
That's right.
Just wrapped up.
Yep. I mean, they do both of them at the same time. But go on. You're doing great.
Ooh, nice condescension. If he wasn't here, I'd definitely be photoshopping him in on the women's tennis player in the...
Oh, don't do that to her.
You know what? There'll be a hot topic, though, because everybody would be Googling her. Anyways, I don't know much about women's tennis. We've talked about it a few times, mostly when you've been on the podcast before. So, Take it away. Tell the listeners what they need to know.
Well, everyone who's from Canada, and therefore the only people I'm talking to today...
hey, we have international listeners.
Yeah,
We did. But they moved back to Canada.
Some of us moved away. Bianca Andreescu is Canada's first ever women's champion, which is a huge achievement.
In like any of the majors? Like major
yes,
tournaments?
yeah. Any of the majors. You're right. And it's huge. It was a great match against the one and only Serena Williams.
Yes.
I had to think about her name again, because last time I was talking about women's tennis, I talked about Venus for like 5 minutes, and I'm like, I meant Serena the whole time.
Well, they're twins. I mean, come on, you
not
get
twins.
confused. They're not twins? Really? I thought they were twins.
They are not twins, John. They are 2 to 3 years apart.
Really? They look similar, though. I guess they're
I mean, they're
sisters.
sisters. I'm not
Dude, I thought they all this time. I thought they're twins.
No, they are not twins.
Who's the older one?
Venus is older than Serena.
Nah, she's washed up. That's why Serena's doing all the winning
I
now.
said that with a lot of confidence. I'm pretty sure Venus is older than Serena.
We don't fact check on here.
We do not fact check.
Email us scruffcast@gmail.com.
Yeah. No, but I was really excited to watch this. Like, there's been a lot of... You know what? Yes, there's been a lot of Canadian tennis players who are getting, like, good tournament time, right? Like, we got Denis Shapovalov, we got... Milos Raonic came in, and then years ago, you remember Eugenie Bouchard, and she was going to be the huge, like, women's superstar. And
you say years ago, but like she's still pretty young.
Oh yeah,
but she didn't pan out, I guess.
We can get into this, or we can not, but I'm going to say that Eugenie Bouchard has probably, missed her chance to be, a dominant force in tennis. I'm not putting it, out of the conversation that she could get, a couple of top finishes here or there for the rest of her career, but she's just not found a way to put it all together.
To push to the next level. Yeah, she's too busy sharing like thoughty pictures on Instagram these days.
Okay, well, I'm not throwing her under the bus like that. I know she had...
Hey, I wasn't saying it as a negative. I'm just saying.
All those positive thought, comments we have out there. Thought spelt THOT, by the way, for all the listeners out there. John is absolutely throwing someone under the bus.
Dude, I'd be happy to have her on the podcast to defend herself here.
Eugenie, you got to come on the podcast and stand up for yourself here, because you were a fantastic competitor for Canada. And
dude, you can be a fantastic competitor and be a thoughty. It's the same. It's not mutually exclusive.
It's true.
Think of I don't know.
Oh, you're killing it.
But I'm sure there's other examples.
Anyways,
regardless,
I think that what I'm looking at with Andreescu, first of all, 18. Way too early to call anything, except for the fact that she's good right now. She is 11-0 against number ones in the world. Former and current number ones in her career, 11-0. That's insane.
That's pretty impressive.
That is a monstrous achievement at 18 years old.
She has the same number of losses against world number ones as I do.
Yeah, that's right. John is undefeated against world number ones.
She's in elite company right now.
Yeah, it's it's Bianca and John. It's true. But yeah, no, I loved watching her game. John, anything you want to talk about with this?
No. I mean, I don't know much. To be honest, I never heard of this. I was going to say woman, I guess girl.
No, she's a woman. She's, in the women's tennis. She's a competitor.
Sure. Is there an age limit for what age you can be? Like a minimum age to play in these tournaments?
Ooh, I don't know if there's a minimum, but I know you don't have to be 18.
So then it's women's tennis, but you don't have to be a woman.
Okay. Yeah, all right. Yeah, sure. Let's go with that, Johnny. But yeah, there's 16-year-olds in the tournament. I think there might have been a 15-year-old. Miss Coco, whatever her name is.
Miss Coco? This makes you think of Mean Girls. You go, Glenn Coco. That's what Coco makes.
Mean Girls has been coming up a lot lately, and I don't know why.
On the podcast?
No.
I was going to say.
Well, maybe on the podcast.
There's a Mean Girls musical, I think.
Yeah, that is true. That's a thing that happened. Are you a big musical guy, John?
My girlfriend loves musicals. I just dropped my pen on the floor.
Yeah, that's fun.
Unrelated.
Go pick it up. I'll do a bit on musicals. So the SpongeBob musical is coming to the Sony Center in Toronto this December. Yes.
I love SpongeBob.
Very exciting. I'm a huge SpongeBob fan too. I listen to the SpongeBob musical soundtrack on road trips. It's pretty good. I will say, just a bit of warning for those of you rushing to buy tickets, it's going to be a bit expensive. In addition to that, it's a non-equity show. John, do you know what a non-equity show is?
Like not part of the union?
That's right.
So what does that mean? Like, why is that, like, as a theater goer, why should I be cautious or be aware of that?
Well, it just means a different quality of talent on stage.
Oh, I see.
Quite frankly, it means that the production has chosen not to spend the money to get union licensed actors and has instead gone with a non-equity cast. Now, I'm not saying there aren't great talents in the non-equity cast. However, the general rule is if you're good enough to join the union, you're in the union. If you're not good enough, you're not in. And that's the selection of people who will be on this show.
So do they have to pay for the license to SpongeBob SquarePants to put this musical production on?
I imagine that what's happening is the SpongeBob musical owners are the ones putting it on. It's just that they chose not to do it with the original
So this
cast.
is a certain run of the SpongeBob musical. But
yes, that's right. It's off Broadway now. That Broadway run is finished.
Yeah, but like the creators of SpongeBob SquarePants, whoever owns the rights, like they had to get money for this. You know what I mean?
Yes, okay. Yeah, I would imagine that's true.
Yeah.
Nickelodeon and whoever else.
I think it was originally created by like Tom Kenny or something. Didn't he die?
I think he did.
Rest in peace, SpongeBob creator.
Yeah. Well, your legend lives on through the SpongeBob musical.
Through the SpongeBob musical.
Genuinely, very good. I'm not going to take anything away with it. And it had no right to be, John. It had no right to be good.
So, are you basing this off of, you've seen it? The musical, or off the soundtrack?
I have seen and heard it. Not live. I've watched recordings of it.
What? No wonder they can't afford equity.
Yeah, you're right. It's my fault.
Bootleg.
John's right. The musical had no business being good.
Did it use any songs from the show?
No.
They're all just original numbers?
They're original numbers, but there's a lot of songs. Well, that's not true. They use the opening song as a closing theme. Who
like
lives on a pineapple under the sea? But they kind of like do like a big orchestrated version of it, and it's very like celebratory end of the show, and it's lovely. It's a lovely moment because it's really like,
I see.
You can see all the kids get really excited in the crowd, etc. Again, back to the point. I will try to make a third time. It bears repeating. This show had no business being good. When they started making the SpongeBob musical, they thought it was basically going to be a great cash grab in the simplest way.
Everybody loves SpongeBob.
Kids love SpongeBob. Parents will take their kids to SpongeBob. Really easy. So what they ended up doing was bringing in a lot of famous songwriters and musicians to write all the songs. Now, I'm not saying it's a bad idea bringing in musicians. I'm just saying that perhaps Steve Tyler is not the guy you want writing musical numbers, and that is one of the artists who contributed to the soundtrack.
I see.
But then you got other hits, like you have Lady Antebellum was in it.
Okay.
David Bowie wrote a track. It was one of the last pieces of music he wrote before he died.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's pretty good. It's a pretty bomb track.
How much do you think they had to pay David Bowie to write a song?
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if David Bowie saw this as like, oh, I love SpongeBob. I can't wait to do it. You know? Like, oh, my kids love SpongeBob.
What about T.I.? He's not doing that for free.
I don't know, man. He might love SpongeBob. Anyways, you know what? Whatever they paid for T.I. was too much. His track is garbage.
What's the name of his track?
Oh man, what is it? I don't know. It's Plankton's rap in the middle of it.
Ugh. You de-hyped me for this.
Well, just ignore that one. His robot wife Karen beatboxes through the whole thing though, which is
man, I'm not feeling good. You know what? I was all like, I had talked with my girlfriend and I was like, yeah, you know what? When SpongeBob musical comes, we should go. I love SpongeBob. She loves musicals. It's not like I don't. It's not like I hate musicals, but they're more her jam than mine.
Yeah.
But you're de-hyping me a little with this Karen beatbox Plankton rap.
Well, once again, I have started this with it didn't deserve to be as good as it was, but John...
True, so it's overachieving.
Oh, it is overachieving like crazy. So in addition to the star-studded cast, we have contributions from Sarah Bareilles, the Plain White T's, and I think Frank Ocean wrote a song in it too, and it's really, really quite nice. So, as I was saying, it didn't deserve, but if you look at like the original recording versus what kind of ended up on stage, it's very different. They made a lot of edits, which indicates to me that the staff working on it really cared about the show, the production, and the story they wanted to tell. And after a lot of like edits and tweak, it turned into something that was like very nice to watch.
So it was a passion project. They were finding
absolutely. It went from cash grab to passion project.
Much like the ScruffCast in reverse. We're trying to go from passion project to cash grab.
Genius.
So would you listeners start sharing this with your friends? Because I want to start getting MeUndies ads on here. Start making bank.
Or at least getting MeUndies, because those are very comfortable.
Yeah, if we could just be like, because if you get an ad deal, right, I'm assuming they send you some of the product, so you can be like, I tried MeUndies and they were fantastic. The way they cupped my supple buttocks, just nice and fine, right? So then you can give a recommendation.
I think you're going to have to do better than nice and fine, but
well,
yeah.
I'll write the ads, whatever, once we get a listener base to that level. But you listeners, you start pulling your weight.
Yeah, it's true. Much like Squidward does in the SpongeBob musical. Squidward has the biggest Broadwayest number you've ever seen. And
does he play the clarinet?
He plays the clarinet.
Ah, yes. Everyone
he yells,
knows.
"Clarinet solo!" and then turns and like plays it amazingly. Also, the actor playing Squidward wears prosthetic extra legs and tap dances with them.
Now you're rehyping me on this.
Oh.
Dehyped to rehyped.
My God, you have to see Squidward's Big Number. It's the hugest thing.
I'd like it if that was the name of the track, Squidward's Big Number.
It might be. I'm going to look that up later, actually. It's great.
Would you believe we were talking about women's tennis? How did we get to SpongeBob the musical? Or musicals in general?
I had the quickest thought in my head. Do I now backtrack to women's tennis, or do I just let that go?
I don't remember how we segued to this.
That's all right. It's not a big deal. I'm excited about Bianca Andreescu's future, and I think that the SpongeBob musical is a lovely passion project that might be worth seeing. I'm disappointed that people won't get to see it in its full Broadway glory, instead getting a non-unionized cast. However, might still be worth the trip. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Maybe if I go watch it, I'll give the listeners my thoughts.
For sure.
All right. What else do we have in the agenda? This was a free-flowing episode.
Well, we've already cranked out a Broadway debrief, so that's pretty
good. Kind of very on point what we were just talking about. The next thing I had on here was passionate about things no one else likes or cares about. That's a segue for you.
Well, as the ScruffCast #1 fan, I think this question's right up my alley. But that's not what I was thinking. So I actually came up with this one when we were trying to think of things for this week's episode. And it's funny. There's a lot of things in your life where it's like, oh yeah, this guy liked it and he showed it to me, and you got your gang to talk about it. It's great. You know,
your gang, like the Crips and the Bloods?
Yeah, my my neighborhood watch turned drug smuggling gang, Crips and Bloods. But there's some other things in your life where like you like it, and either through embarrassment or just lack of like local interest, you just don't have anyone to share it with, kind of thing.
I know exactly the sentiment you're talking about. It's like something you find in particular like interesting, and just nobody. You don't have a circle of friends. You don't have anyone in your social circle that shares that same interest or enthusiasm.
Yeah, and I was thinking with you, John. Like I didn't want to guess your answer, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was your hockey team.
Yes, my hockey team of choice. I wish they were my team, like I own them. The New Jersey Devils of the NHL. So it's not like the New Jersey Devils don't have a big following. The problem is most of their following's in New Jersey, and we are not in New Jersey. We are Toronto-based. So everyone around here likes the Toronto Maple Leafs. And pretty much all my friends like the Toronto Maple Leafs, and nobody likes the New Jersey Devils. But you know what? That's okay. Sometimes it's fine being on the outside, knowing you're making the quality choice of liking the better team. That's just the way it is. No, it's that sort of sentiment where it's like, you know, nobody else likes the thing that I like, or at least nobody else that I know, you know?
Yeah. Now, but I'd love to get into like how you fell into that, John. Like, how does a little boy from Brampton area end up loving New Jersey Devils?
I feel like I'm being interviewed now, like on 2020.
Well,
let me tell you, it all started back in 2003, the historic run of the Stanley Cup. No, it was, growing up, I don't know. I was a fan of Martin Brodeur, like, you know, Hall of Fame goaltender for the New Jersey Devils. And then, I don't know, it just transitioned into, you know, a love for the team, if you will. And, you know, nobody else liked him, but too bad. I like him anyway. So you guys are just a bunch of jabrones.
It was just the big star. Like, one big star who was, you know, blowing everyone away was enough to convince you to fall in love with, you know, the whole team and more in the sport.
Yeah, listeners won't know, but I was going to say listeners may remember. When I was in 7th grade, I did my elementary school speech on Martin Brodeur.
That's incredible.
It was a fantastic speech.
Yeah, it wasn't as good as my speech the same year on Ed Belfour, but I feel like I was playing to the local crowd there, so I think...
You were? Was he playing for the Leafs at the time?
He was playing for the Leafs at the time. Or had just retired. I'm not sure what year it was.
Yeah, in 2000. He was old as dust by then.
He was still winning more games than he deserved. And
I mean, hey, he's winning more games than me.
But he hasn't lost, or has he lost the same number of number ones as you and Bianca and Jessica?
I don't know what he pursued after retiring the NHL, but I'd wager guess he has.
I know what he retired. I know what he pursued after the NHL.
What did he pursue, like car dealerships or something?
I wish. So Ed Belfour was actually a big car head, and
okay, so I was kind of close.
No, it was a good guess. He was a big car head. So you saw on the back of his mask, he actually had like a logo of a local auto shop. I think it might have been his actually. And so I kind of assumed, oh yeah, this guy's going to be just this car junkie. He's got his money, kind of thing. Recently, and I mean in the past like 4 years, Ed Belfour, like a news article came across, Ed Belfour was auctioning off all his old memorabilia, gold medals, old pads he wore on the Leafs, sticks, jerseys, everything. And I was like, wow, oh no, has Belfour fallen on hard times? No, he he was trying to open a brewery with his son. Or maybe it was a distillery, but some sort of liquor-producing enterprise kind of thing. So I was like,
what, he needed more funds?
I don't like to think about the sad story that led to that.
Because if anything, I'd keep the memorabilia, and then you want to like hang it up around the thing, give you a cool sort of theme.
Yeah, I think he needs a marketing manager like you, John.
Maybe. Hey, it was your idea. Well, actually, it was my idea.
It was absolutely. No, you're right. I'll take credit for the idea. This is my interview. I get all rights to IP that come out of it.
I'll just edit that. I'll edit that little disclaimer you put in. I'll say this was my interview. I give you all the rights.
It changed to I like you, John, and Belfour is not my friend.
Yeah, but the Devils are an example of one of those things where it's like, yeah, I'm the only person in my social circle who likes them. I've also found similar things like, certain podcasts, like other podcasts who I won't name, competing products.
Don't bother. Not worth it.
But I find like a lot of that sort of stuff's mitigated like by the internet, right? Especially with like Reddit. You can find a subreddit, if you will, which is like, for listeners who are unfamiliar, Reddit's like a website that's like full of like smaller communities, which are called subreddits. And basically you can find one for pretty much anything you're into, right? So there's one specifically about the New Jersey Devils. There's one about hockey. There's one about every single team. There's one about like the PlayStation Vita, another thing that I like that nobody else cares about.
That's a deep cut, John. I gotta.
It is. Well, it's sitting on my desk right over there, so I'm looking at it now. So I feel like the internet sort of mitigates some of that.
Interesting,
right? But I know you have some things that you like that nobody else cares about.
Oh,
well, not nobody else, but
it might be nobody. Yeah. So just before we came in here, John and I started watching some YouTube, but I asked him if I could watch the latest episode of my baseball anime that I'm a big fan of. Yeah, you heard that right. Baseball anime. Two words that don't seem to belong together, but are oh so sweet when they are. So,
Caolan subjected me to one episode.
Subjected.
The most recent one. And it was baseball. It was anime. I'm not against anime.
Yeah.
Okay? There was, think of all that, anime on TV back when we were kids growing up. Dragon Ball Z was the biggest one. Yep. Sailor Moon.
Yeah.
Do you remember Card Captors? That was another one.
I do remember Card Captors.
That one I only kind of like cursed or really watched, if that's even a word. I could just picture my mom being like, what the hell are they talking about? Jesus Christ.
All right, we'll go back to sports. It's fine.
Oh, yeah, should hate that anymore. Ed Balfour, who's the heck's that?
Balfour?
What else was there when we were kids? Just all that sort of stuff. So, like, I appreciate anime.
Yeah. But I've loved this little show, and it's just anime. It's just baseball. There's no superpowers, nothing like that. And just something about it actually made me like baseball more. I think I watched more baseball after I started watching that anime. Yeah, I don't know. Something about the way they would talk about the game, the way that like it was their personal journey through the sport and through like their 3 years of baseball and like competitiveness. It was really like... It really kind of almost brought me through that journey, and I never played baseball. I know that's lame. I know I'm being lame, but I never played baseball.
That's the power of anime.
Yeah. Okay. You're putting a lot of quotes here, but the idea is like all of a sudden it started like attracting me to this sport that until then I had only been like passively interested in.
Yeah.
But yeah, now I'm like, oh yeah, baseball, just in time for the Toronto Blue Jays to be terrible, but
to end their horrific season.
Oh. It's painful.
True story. We went out for dinner earlier today.
Oh yeah.
And there was a TV and it was showing. I think the Blue Jays were about to start playing, and I said, "The Blue Jays are still playing." Like I thought the season was over. Like they've just been such a non-factor in the city this year.
Yeah.
The other Toronto Maple Leafs been consistently making the playoffs the last little while. The Toronto Raptors coming off the championship. Then you got the piddly ass Toronto Blue Jays. It's like. Just move them.
And it's incredible how...
Not move them, but like, you know what I mean?
That's a hard take, John.
No.
But it's incredible how, like, recent, Blue Jays were pushing for the playoffs. They were doing well.
Yeah, I remember. It was only a few years ago. I was sitting in Dan's backyard with him watching the wild card game.
Legendary sports nights in Dad's backyard, by the way.
Yeah. Because they had the TV roll out in the backyard.
Absolutely. And it's actually Dan's dad's backyard.
Well, he lived there at the time.
Yes, of course. But
shout out to Walter.
Mr. Medeiros, you have an excellent sports viewing setup. But yeah, it's that's just one of the things. But funny enough, I put it on for John, and I could tell, okay, lukewarm at best. John's not going to be a follower, which is fine.
To be fair, that's sort of my reaction to most things.
Yes, and then shortly after, though, I put on another thing that I like that I don't know anyone like, and you seem to enjoy it.
I did. It was. We'll go off my memory here because you know what it is, and I don't. It was a group of 4 or 5 guys, and they were cooking stuff, and the idea was. They go up in 10-minute segments, so it's okay, you guys got to cook, a meal on a budget or something. So then the first guy goes and he starts cooking for 10 minutes, and then everyone else is blindfolded or they have headphones on, they're hidden away. Then he's got to go get the second guy. Second guy goes in the kitchen, he's like, what the hell was the guy cooking? And he just has to take over, and he doesn't know. And then they go through the sequence of all 5 of them.
And it's absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, and the end result is just kind of shitty. As I would expect. But
funny.
It's still better than anything I can cook.
I mean, for sure.
For sure, you don't have to be so harsh.
Well, I mean,
maybe I could cook that quality.
I would love the meal you prepare for me, John. In all my years of knowing you, 28-ish, or no, I suppose less than that.
Bruh, you sipping on that green tea over there?
If you're going to call making green tea cooking, then yeah, you've done a great job, John.
It's not cooking, it's a meal.
It's
When you walked in here, it was just a house, but when I gave you the tea, it turned into a home.
Oh, that's so nice. I thought it was the blanket. Nice. I love your studio, by the way. I didn't mention that. I haven't been in this one yet.
The walls are a little barren. I want to spice it up a little. I have a couple ideas.
Weren't you going to get a big sword or something? Isn't that a story I remember?
Yes, we talked about this a while back. I wanted to get Jon Snow Long Claw replica sword. But it's like $300 on the HBO store. But it's so cool. But the thing is, if you spend $300 on a sword, I got to swing it at stuff. Right? I don't have enough room in here.
That's how you end up on this, John.
Yeah.
That's all right. I think that, what was great about, just before we started was I was showing you things I like that you didn't know about. And, the fact is, you're going to like things other people don't. And I don't think you should feel bad about it. But it doesn't mean you shouldn't stop, exploring new things and sharing new things with friends. So yes. I was batting 500 tonight. I think, John, like I said, not big on baseball anime, but Sorted Food, the YouTube channel, shout out. Pretty good content, just saying.
Yeah, not bad. And hey, it's not like I was like, this baseball anime shit. I was just like, okay, a baseball anime, I get it. Yeah. I get it.
Yeah, maybe one day you'll put on the New Jersey Devils, and I'll be like, oh, okay, PK Subban. That's all right.
Yeah, you'll watch. They're going to have a good year.
You're going to be huge.
Going to be huge. There's something else. What was I going to say? Oh, you're talking about, things you like, maybe not everybody likes, share with your friends. Listeners, share the podcast with your friends, please. Please. I need all the help I can get. John, wouldn't it be nice if Dan came back from his vacation and boom, we had a huge spike of listeners and emails coming in?
Real talk, listeners. You're not here right now, but if you could just see the earnest pain on John's face when he was pleading to his listeners that he just wants some more love out there. He wants to get a few more write-ins, a few more likes on YouTube. All right? He's your friend. He's doing everything he can for you.
Are you out there? You're having a tough time. The world's beating you down. You get up every day and you're like, why? Why me? Why do I got to go to work at no
This is getting too real.
This is the worst. And your existence is pain. But then every Wednesday morning, 6 a.m., the ScruffCast comes out and you're like, all is whole. It's like seeing the sun rise for the very first time every Wednesday, and it gives your life some purpose. If that's the experience you're having with the podcast, then please share with your friends. What kind of friend would hold that experience from their other friends? Somebody I wouldn't want to be friends with, that's for sure.
Why are you keeping the sunshine out of other people's lives?
Yeah, you're literally making it dark. That's like one of the plagues from the 10 Commandments. Shame on you. It's literally a sin not to share the ScruffCast if you follow that logic. Just saying.
All right.
I mean, I don't know what sort of, if we're in good graces with the church after we talked about the Pope blessing chicken nuggets a couple episodes back. Blessed be thy nuggets. I don't remember.
I mean, we did spreading the good turd very early.
Spreading the good turd. Oh, see, dude, it always comes back to the church somehow when you're on here.
I don't know. I guess the church has just had an impact on my life. Positive or negative? Let's find out.
Well, speaking of things some people like that nobody else cares about. All right.
Oh, shit.
The next thing I had on here is Dumbest lies you've ever told.
Oh my god.
So this is something you came up with that, quite frankly, I'm not saying I never tell lies, but I can't think of any like dumbest lies I've ever told off the top of my head.
Oh.
It makes you think of like when you're a kid, because for some reason kids think they can like. Kids just think they're smarter than adults for some reason. And it's like, kid, you don't even understand how stupid you are. You're not smarter than adults.
It's true.
Unless you're a smart guy. Remember that TV show?
Oh, God.
He's a smart guy.
Yeah, that was something we watched. I think...
You make it sound like that was like something we just watched together.
Well, I wish we did, John. Would have liked to have spent
I was
more...
never a fan of that show. Did you ever watch Sister Sister? That was a much better show.
I just meant I would have liked to watch things with you, John. But anyways, yeah.
Oh, sure. Well, not smart guy, though. Real talk, though. Do you think they sell that show like on DVD or Blu-ray? Like DVD, maybe from back in the day. Do you think it's been pressed onto Blu-ray discs? Smart guy.
Listeners, send us the Amazon link for Smart Guy on DVD or Blu-ray.
You know what? I don't even want to wait. I got to look it up right now.
You are getting a live research for the first time on the ScruffCast for Smart Guy on DVD and or Blu-ray.
Well, I mean, we've done live research like very rarely before. Very rare.
Listeners,
I
feel
dumb lies you ever told.
Yeah, forget that. Let's talk about Smart Guy. So, listeners,
yeah, dude.
some of you don't know what this show was about, and I feel the need to explain it to you. So, there was a period during the 2000s when the Family Channel just seemed to be pumping out like candy for like 10 to 14-year-olds via television. I would describe it as that. And Smart Guy was one of these channels. Now, was Smart Guy funny? Yes. As a child, very funny show. Basic premise, Smart Guy is a, let's call him 12-year-old who is part of a, 5-ish person family and is so, gifted with his intelligence that he gets to go to high school early.
Yeah, but like, it's early 2000s TV, so like the high school kids are like 25. Oh, and he's like 12, right?
I don't know if that's changed. I'd love to figure that out. But anyways, he gets into a lot of hijinks. Most of the jokes being about he's a child, but smart enough to be an adult. And his parents aren't geniuses, and his brother and sister aren't geniuses. And, he gets crushes on girls and all those other things that every high school student does.
Smart guy, you're only 12.
Yeah, but you're only 12, smart guy. Oh, God. In hindsight, really bad show. I think I said something positive about it earlier. It did make me laugh, though. I can't take that from it. Much like the ScruffCast does every week. Listeners, if you're having a laugh, give us a like.
Okay, here's the description of Smart Guy from IMDb. 10-year-old genius has skipped 6 grades into high school. This incredible promotion somewhat aggravates his teenage siblings. I couldn't find any links to it on DVD or Blu-ray. I found a link to some odd, strange website that I've never heard of, ioffer.com, and both links, when I clicked from Google, said, this item is no longer available. So it's probably just cases of DVDs, like custom made, and then smuggling in like crack or something.
I think, just being very logical about this, that show existed at the right time for DVD production to be viable. I think just it was the right time and era that shows that had a decent level of popularity were put on DVDs in some quantity, mainly for Walmart.
What year do you think the show ran? I just looked it up.
Ooh.
It had 3 seasons.
I think that it was 2000, and I'm going to say 2005 to 2009, that range.
Ooh, you couldn't be more off.
Oh, no.
Well, you could be more off, but 1997 and 1999.
Listeners, everything we said about it being in the 2000s, we want to apologize. Incorrect. This is why we don't do live research.
No, it just exposes us.
It exposes us for being the absolute idiots we are. Now, I've been on 3 episodes, so I'm throwing a lot on Dan's back here, but yeah.
I've had 67 episodes of idiocy.
That is 67 episodes. For all you Leaf fans out there, sorry.
But for all you fans of Canada, 1867?
Hey,
not bad.
Speaking of Canada, Bianca Andreescu. Oh, wait, that was the first topic. Lies that you told that were stupid.
Dumbest lies ever told.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
That's sad.
I don't think maybe there's any dumb lies my younger brother told me.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to put him on blast. He doesn't listen to podcasts. This will make my parents laugh. My brother, one time the teacher called my parents and they said, the teacher was doing attendance, and then they had the name Todd on there instead. My brother's name is Taven, right? And my brother goes, I wrote Todd down because I didn't have enough room on my piece of paper to write my full name, so I just wrote Todd. And his friends are calling him Todd, and like the teacher's like, is there a Todd here? Because like he wrote Todd on the attendance or whatever. Todd, and he's like, oh yeah, that's me. And he's like, yeah, I didn't have enough room, and it's like, do you think we're dumb? Why would you? I didn't have enough room, so I wrote Todd. And then at one time I went to his room or something, and he was like, I don't know, he had a username for something, and it was Todd Squad. And I'm like, see, you goddamn liar! Oh, you trying to fool me? Shaking my goddamn head. That's a dumb kid lie that comes from my head.
There's so much to digest about that lie. Not enough room when Taven is exactly one letter longer than Todd. Also, 5 letters. It's gold. I love everything about that lie. Todd.
I'm not gonna lie. Taven is actually 6 letters. And Todd is 4.
All right.
Maybe he was more logical than you gave him credit for. Shout out, Todd. But you know what I did as a kid? I would write because my full name is Jonathan. Spoilers for listeners that didn't know. So I'd write like Jonat, and then if I didn't have enough room underneath, it'd say Han, right? Like I wrote in 2 lines. So it's like, but like underneath, all the way on the right side of the page, Jonat Han underneath, or Jonathan, or sometimes just Jonathan at the bottom. So that's one thing I did. It's not related to lies you told as a kid, but you came up with the topic. You must have the dumbest lie you ever told.
Listeners at home, thank you for listening to John describe how he wrote his name when there wasn't quite enough room. I know this is the type of content that you log in for. We appreciate it. All right, dumbest lie I ever told. So I have this constant problem in my life where I remember every stupid thing I've ever done, and it just makes me want to die, just all the time. And it's always in like a bad day, and it's like, and you did that. Remember when you did that, you idiot, and all this stuff. Just keeps me up on night sometimes. So this one rolled into my awful memories recently, where we were in grade I want to say 7. No, it might have been 6. Grade 6 or 7. Jonathan, do you remember conflict managers?
Oh my God, that's a way back playback. I bet Dan's pissed off he's not on the podcast right now. Yes, explain what conflict managers are. Oh,
so conflict managers.
Stupid idea. I forgot this existed. Please explain.
Oh, you got me going now. I'm trying to explain. Okay, so conflict managers were a initiative started by our elementary school where they would get some of the other older students,
like grade 7, 8?
Yeah, 7, 8, but I think they let grade 6s in sometimes. Really? They used to get some of the older students to walk around in fluorescent green vests that said conflict manager.
Blue.
They were blue, but the green stripe.
With the stripe, almost like a construction vest. Yeah. But instead of orange, it's blue.
Yeah, so like these, vibrant vests and a clipboard. And they would walk around the playground during recess. I think they had to do once a month. Oh, there was lockers, and you had to log in and out like you were on the police force.
You see a lot of conflicts in my line of work.
I'm excellent at managing conflicts. Basically they go around the schoolyard, and then if kids were fighting or yelling or screaming or something, they walk up, and it was basically a way to kind of relieve the pressure on the teacher, kind of roaming the field out there, and help kids who were, fighting with each other. Whatever.
Quiet, imbeciles. The conflict manager is now here. Explain your quarrel.
There was a lot of, you know what? It was a good tool to think while you had no power to get kids in trouble. So long as they thought they could get in trouble, you were able to manage situations very well.
So, were you a conflict manager?
Oh yes. The main reason.
Yes. I was definitely not.
Yeah, well, John's an idiot because the only reason most kids went to conflict managers, including myself, was because at the end of the year, all the conflict managers got to go to Wonderland for a day. I think we got pizza once or something. But, so the biggest lie, or dumbest lie ever told, not the biggest lie, it's an insignificant lie, but just one that keeps me up at night for how stupid it was. As part of conflict managers, when you sign up, you had to go away for training for a day where you would learn to solve conflicts with each other. I'm not joking.
Okay.
I think it was at the church too. I think we went to a church and in the
church has no conflicts.
Yeah. And we learned to, like, you know, talk through problems. We do, like, a role play exercise where, like, you'd be having a problem and they'd show you how to, like, listen and de-escalate and, you know, write a kid's name down.
Walk in, have the conflict, the next guy walks in, boom! Agent Michael Scarn.
Hands up!
Little Office reference for you guys.
There you go. I've only recently started watching The Office. So far, pretty good. Okay, anyways, going through. So, as part of the exercises, they wanted us to get to know each other better, right? So we had to go around.
Oh, I thought of a lie. I'll tell you after.
Oh, excellent. We had to get to know each other better. And so it was kind of like, I don't know, random fact bingo, where they had like a bingo 5x5, and you had to meet someone who, like, exhibited one of the bingo squares, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, find someone who, find someone with brown hair. Find someone who's played soccer. Find someone, you know, like random facts.
I know what you're talking
about. And
the
basic premise is you would have to interview people and get to know them. Well, one of the questions was, have you ever been, find someone who was born in another country. And when someone asked me it, I heard, find someone who's been to another country. So I said, oh yeah, Ireland. And someone went, really? I was like, yeah, sure. And then the word kind of got around, and a good few people were like, Caolan's not born in Ireland.
But they're coming to you because they need their bingo square.
They need the bingo square, exactly. So someone came up to me, and I think after the second person or so, I realized, oh no, I made a mistake. But I was so worried about lying at the conflict manager session that I was like, yeah, I was born in Ireland. Yep. I had to just keep making up worse and worse lies to, like, cover up that fact. Like, oh yeah, my mom went to Ireland, like, very late, and I was just born a little early, so I was born there by accident. Jonathan, it wasn't bad enough that I told these to the kids. When the bingo cards were submitted, they started, like, calling out a few of the squares and asking the people about the story. And Miss Sloda, I don't know, pulled up, oh, born outside the country. Caolan, you were born in Ireland? Really? And I had to stand up and be like, yeah. And tell the dumbest lie I think I've ever told in my life. And just in hindsight, there was no reason for it other than embarrassment for mishearing it the first time. And I just...
Dude, kids are afraid to, like, admit stuff. Oh, even adults are afraid to admit when they mess stuff up.
And that keeps me up so many nights. The amount of nights I've lost in sleep because of how stupid that was.
That was a good one. That was a good one. Was that the thing you had in mind when you brought up this topic?
That is the thing that was keeping me up, where I was like, I gotta vent this. Maybe this is my therapy. If I just yell it out to the world. Everyone, I wasn't born in Ireland. I'm sorry I told that lie. I was stupid and a child. Feels good.
Miss Sloda out there having a reality just shaking right now. She's a big ScruffCast listener.
Oh, I know. Huge subscriber.
Dude, I don't even remember who this teacher is.
She's doing...
Shout out, Miss Loda.
Shout out.
So I have a lie. It's the dumbest lie? Probably. So, well, I don't know if it's the dumbest, but I feel like I might have told this story already, but oh well, you're getting a double dip here. So I remember we went away on winter break. Tell me if this sounds familiar, like I've said this on the podcast. Went away for like Christmas break on vacation, or not on vacation, like we were away from school. I didn't do anything the whole break, and we came back. And then we had to write like a little, like 1-page note or like a story or whatever. What'd you do on your Christmas break? And I did absolutely nothing. Didn't go anywhere, do anything. Just stayed home, played video games, whatever. Relaxed. Living my best life. It's Christmas time. I didn't want to write, I did absolutely nothing, because that'd also only be one sentence. So I told this grand story of like how me and my family, and we went away, and we spent the day, went to Gage Park, and we spent the day skating. We definitely didn't do that. And then we went, we had hot cocoa, and then we went to the movies and watched Toy Story 2, and what a nice, fun family day. None of that shit happened, and I just told this whole elaborate story. It was just all a lie. I specifically remember writing this and submitting this in the class.
I like that. That's so wholesome, though.
A little, but it was like more because I was embarrassed. Like, I didn't do anything. And I could just picture like, what'd you do?
In grade 9... we had to write. We had like so grade 9. You had we did like gym like as part of like the high school credits, and part of it was like nutrition. And we had this like we had to write down what we ate for like a week so that we could like learn about our nutrition.
Oh, you definitely lied.
Oh, I absolutely lied. But it's not like what you'd think I'd lie about.
Yeah.
Like I think most people would lie in like a nutrition journal by saying, "Oh, I ate all these vegetables," or all these things. I was eating like 2 things a day. I don't know why. I just wasn't eating enough, I guess, at the time. And it was also when we were my brother was doing the fundraiser for like where you sold those like big chocolate bars.
Oh boy.
So I was eating a chocolate bar every day. So my entry was like no breakfast because I never bothered.
Yeah.
And then like pizza or something at lunch, a chocolate bar, and then like dinner, I guess.
Yeah.
And it was just like, if you counted like the amount of foods, it was just like absolutely a joke. And so every like time I had to submit it, I would just like make up like random meals. Like, yeah, I had a ham sandwich, or I had a burrito. And like, it wasn't even healthy food. It was just like additional things.
You were just embarrassed of your actual...
I think it was a mix of
diet.
that and like just, I don't know. I'm like, is this really the conversation I want to have? I'm like, I was like 120 pounds. I was like tiny. Like I just wasn't that hungry at the time, kind of thing. Lord knows I ate a lot of food after
Father
that.
Time comes for all of us.
Well, we all have that journey. God. But I think about it now. If I was 120 pounds now, they'd put me in a hospital. They're like, dude, you need to eat something.
Probably.
All right. Speaking of food,
we're 45 minutes into the podcast. Our listeners are usually ready to wrap it up, but we're ready to kick off that top 5.
top five.
Maybe this will give Dan lots of content to listen to on his flight back.
Danny, we're doing this to you, and for everyone else, we're sorry.
I can just imagine him loading up. An hour and 7 minutes, Jesus Christ! Well, I mean, this happened last time you were on too. We had a long podcast.
You know what? I feel
it was like our longest episode, like just short by a few seconds.
Oh man, if I'd known that, I would have dragged that out.
Dude, we're probably gonna beat it this time.
You know what? I think what happens is I get to listen to this podcast, and it's so enthralling. Like I really do enjoy this. I think you guys do an amazing job, and this isn't just me sucking up. I love every minute of it, and there's so many times where I would love to just kind of like chime in, or I think of something, and I think since I get such a long break,
yeah,
I'm not, it's still very like new to me, and I have like weeks of energy to kind of let out, whereas you guys are doing this every single week except for like that half a year you didn't. But
Dan moved, he had a kid.
No, I get it, but like you guys do it so consistently, and so I understand you're kind of like, guy, we're tired, let's go, that's enough, let's go. Like I get it, but like for me and anyone else who's lucky enough to like step in as a guest, it's really just like a really wonderful experience, and it's so energetic that you're just ready to talk for hours.
It's just sitting around shooting the shit, which was going to be the original name for the podcast.
Yeah,
Shoot the shit. Just with the microphone. When normally the normal routine, I hang up with Dan. We just talk like probably podcast worthy material, I guess, for like a couple hours, and then we record sometimes. We're like, what are we going to talk about?
Yeah.
So I was like, we should have saved that for the podcast.
Oh.
But it's just the way it goes. But if listeners, if you want to chime in, scruffcast@gmail.com. Start chiming in.
Yeah, hit us up on Twitter.
Yeah,
there's
like
plenty of characters.
Please. There was somebody I was like, that's going to be the next person I follow on Twitter. I think I said it last week or 2 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. I can't remember.
Yeah, that'll be.
We follow 4 people. Me, Dan.
You follow Dr. Phil?
Oh, that's who it was. Was it that who it was?
I don't think it was Dr. Phil.
We follow me, Dan, OJ Simpson. Yeah. Oh, and our friend Ian, who was on the podcast a couple of weeks back.
Shout out, Ian.
Shout out. Represent Homer. All right. Shall we get to what was supposed to be the top 5?
Let's do the top 5.
Top 5. This week, I got my foodie expert on here.
Oh, is that what I am?
Well,
okay. I'm the foodie expert.
Well, last time you were here, we sort of invented the top 5. Not your first episode, but the week you were here doing the guest hosting as well.
Yeah.
Which was back in April, where we did top 5 condiments.
Oh, yeah.
All right, which that sort of kicked off the whole wave of top 5, right?
That's
It was
true.
like the TSN turning point.
Oh, my God.
Right? So, when you're on, we got to do food-related top 5. So this week, bring you top 5 desserts.
Oh, I'm excited.
Now, as we were compiling the list, you had almost upwards of 15 desserts you had to whittle down.
Yeah. I think a mix of, good Googling, for one, but also just having strong opinions on food in general. I'm a man of many opinions, food being one of them.
Fair enough. So when I said foodie expert, I guess it was my strong opinion foodie friend.
Yeah, I'll take that.
My Soph. Strong opinion foodie friend. All right, Sophie. Shall we kick it off? Who would you like to go first? You're the guest. You do the honors. Give me your number 5.
Thank you, my friend. So when I was making this top 5, I think I kind of just went through a journey of like my life in food, right? Like what's all the great desserts I've had.
What do you like, Julia Roberts? Eat, Pray, Love here? Your life of food, your journey?
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear these.
All right. So for my number 5, I wrote down...
Fudgicle.
No, God, what are you doing?
I was thinking of your journey, like you're going from childhood to now.
So why did Fudgicle come first?
Because like you ate it as a kid. Like
Isn't
number
it
5.
Fudge-sicle too? Like
Fudge-sicle, whatever. Anyways, is that number 5?
Do you want to go first, John?
No.
Number 5 is a DQ ice cream cake. Or just any ice cream cake in general.
DQ, what's DQ for the listeners? Disqualified? They might not know.
A Dairy Queen.
Oh, Dairy Queen.
A Dairy Queen. So, cake itself, very low on my dessert list. I'm not a massive cake fan. Am I going to say no to cake? No. Even if it's a cupcake, probably like it a little more than a big cake because there's less of it. But ice cream cake...
Yeah, right. You like a cupcake better than big cake because you can eat the whole cupcake in one bite.
Oh, like I can't eat a whole cake.
I guess it depends on the size of the cake. All right.
But ice cream cake is just something magical where it's just become socially acceptable to like eat more ice cream or like put more whipped cream on ice cream. Not that it's, I've challenged to eat ice cream, but I do love just when like the DQ cake is just that classic one where the base is this lovely soft serve vanilla. They put kind of that fudge crackle layer in the middle,
yeah,
and then they top it with like a Blizzard ice cream of your choice. And I always got mint chocolate chip or mint chocolate Oreo, sorry. And it's lovely. It's just a surprise. It takes a bit of effort. You gotta freeze it. You gotta heat up the knife to cut through it. But my God, is it worth it? And yeah, just a big ice cream fan in general. So number 5, ice cream cake. Shout out to DQ.
I know Dan is a fan of mint chocolate chip as well.
Excellent.
I'm not a fan. But that doesn't mean it's no good. I'm just not a fan. Plus, ice cream cake. Always love a dessert where you get to feel how many cavities you have as you eat it. Because you're like, oh, it's sensitive there. Oh, it's sensitive there. Now, I'm not going to lie. I really only had 4 in an honorable mention. So I'm digging into the pile for my number 5. But it's not a bad dessert. I'm going to go with the classic. When you go to a restaurant, you get the brownie, the warm brownie with the ice cream on it. Right?
Good submission. Love it.
Ooh. Love it. Sometimes, if the brownie's not warm, just get out. I can't stand it.
There's
like a cold brownie, cold ice cream. You need that, the temperature mixing.
Can we talk about how easy a dessert, a warm brownie with a scoop of ice cream is? The fact that a restaurant would mess that up is shocking. I don't know what you're doing out there. A cold brownie with ice cream on it is enough to undo an opening of olive oil and balsamic.
That's a good call. I'll have you know, Dan sent me a photo of a meal he's about to have while he's away on his vacation, and he had the balsamic and the olive oil. And I'm like, bruh, you're in for a good meal.
But what if that meal was closed with cold brownie with ice cream?
Then you just did away all the goodwill.
You did away all the goodwill. Restaurant owners listening to the podcast, I know there's lots of you. I know there's a lot of you out there. Actually,
if we do have restaurant owners who listen to the podcast and you're interested in us doing like, an appearance, we do it like the fee would just be our meal. We're nice guys on the ScruffCast. That's what we do.
Absolutely.
All right, so that was my number 5.
It's not bad, number 5.
Not bad.
That is a classic. All right, my number 4. Fast forward through childhood. I'm now a young man, learning more about the world and new cultures. When I come upon what is my 4th favorite dessert, crepes.
Oh, good call.
It's such a lovely meal. There's a delicacy to crepes that you don't get with most desserts. I think in your youth, desserts are kind of just that punch in the mouth. It's a big slice of pie. It's a big hearty cake.
Yeah.
Whereas a crepe, it's a little sheet, a sheet of love that you get to fill with all the things you care about. I personally enjoy a nice crepe filled with a bit of Nutella, bit of strawberries, and, if I'm feeling special, a little bit of graham crackers.
Graham crackers, very nice. Very nice.
I live by a place called Crepe Tio, and it's wonderful to just walk in there, order crepe, they make it fresh off the iron, roll it up with all your fillings, and you kind of eat it in this little triangle-y cone that you kind of walk home with.
You know, I walk by that place on my way to and from work every single day.
Yeah.
And I've never once been in there.
It's lovely. I imagine the savory dishes are good too at that place, but
How are the crepes priced?
oh, you know what? It's pricey. I won't sugarcoat.
Like plus
Unlike
$10?
the crepes, which we absolutely sugarcoat. Thank you.
Like, are you
Thank
talking
you.
like plus $10 for a crepe here?
In that kind of 9+ range.
9+. Okay.
Yeah, depending on the complexity of the crepe you get.
Fair enough.
But yeah,
Crepes, I can't disagree.
crepes, great dessert. Number 4.
Adults eat crepes. Children? Ugh, no. I don't want to eat a crepe.
That's just a lazy pancake, Dad.
My number 4. It could almost be number 3. I struggled a lot. I always struggle to order them, but I'm going to go with a nice classic funnel cake.
Oh,
Right? Funnel cake equals a good vibes, baby.
it's true.
You're thinking of going to the amusement park? You're thinking of summertime? Right? Go to like Canada's Wonderland. End of the day, you're like, let's get that $13 funnel cake. Right? You split it between 2 people, right? I mean, you could eat one by yourself. It's pretty hefty. But,
Oh, you know I can.
right? They're similar to like beaver tails. I'm not exactly sure what the difference is. But a funnel cake's basically, for listeners who may be unaware, it's like deep fried dough. It's almost like a rat's nest of dough, just deep fried with like ice cream on it. And Caolan's dying at that analogy.
Make it sound more appetizing. A rat nest, you say?
Of deep fried dough. It's
Ooh.
delicious. Okay, top with like your powdered like ice and sugar. You got like vanilla ice cream. You got strawberries and like some sort of little like strawberry syrup
They
on there.
make like a puree, like a warm raspberry puree,
Right.
approaching jam territory.
Like that Prince song, Raspberry Puree.
Ooh, didn't know that was a Prince song.
No, it was Raspberry Beret, but like that'd be funny if it was
Prince.
If Weird Al did a song.
Prince, we know you're listening. We need you to re-release it.
Dude,
Is Prince dead?
Prince died a few years ago.
Prince's ghost. We know you're listening. Weird Al.
Dude, the disrespect. The disrespect. You can disrespect the church on the ScruffCast. You can't disrespect Prince. Dude, one of Minnesota's national treasures.
It's true.
You didn't know he died?
I
Shaking my
quickly recalled he died.
But anyways, funnel cake. Just the good vibes.
Just
good
a
vibes.
rat nest
Number
of
4.
fried dough.
Maybe rat nest wasn't a good now. Like a
It's a
mistletoe of fried dough. If you squish the mistletoe,
It's a
fried
dream
dough.
catcher of fried dough, topped with icing sugar and
Sure.
ice cream and a warm strawberry puree on a hot summer day at Wonderland. Funnel cake.
yeah, and then they give you the little shitty plastic fork and knife and you're trying to
Oh,
cut
that
it.
is absolutely insufficient.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Not okay.
But that's not a fault of the dessert. That's a fault of the thing. Also, you never go anywhere and get funnel cakes except places like that. Anyways, on to your number 3.
Number 3. This one's a little trip back. This one's a little like everyone's classic.
Okay.
This one's one of the few outside the restaurant desserts I have on my list. I think most of these are, but this one is just everyone's campfire classic, the s'more.
Okay, interesting. I thought about s'mores when you mentioned the graham crackers earlier.
Yeah, that's right. But I have something written beside s'mores because I think they're fairly close to the same desserts. The other one is the banana boat, which is similar to a s'more. Oh, John's face. I love this. I get to describe a banana boat. So let's start with a s'more. Everyone knows what a s'more is. You take that stick and roast the marshmallow over that fire. Wait till it gets lovely golden brown so its inside is nice and gooey. During the roasting of said marshmallow, you lay out a graham cracker, single piece of chocolate, snap your graham cracker in half, place the marshmallow on top of the chocolate, using the top half of the graham cracker to scrape the marshmallow off, making a lovely little sandwich. Yum yum, everyone's happy. Everybody is happy when you have s'mores.
Except for the marshmallows.
Marshmallows aren't people, John.
No, I'm just saying.
Okay, well, anyways, every non-marshmallow body is happy when there's s'mores. But then you get a little older and you get a little more experimental in your age. And you say, I love the s'mores, but I just wish there was a different way to have it. Enter the banana boat. So what you do is you take a banana, you kind of peel it halfway. So you peel like the top of the banana, let's say kind of like the interior curve of the banana, and you just peel that down, right? Then you take a spoon and you scoop out a nice little like trough kind of thing. You can eat that bit of banana. Let's say you're taking out about a third of the banana's volume out of the middle of it.
Okay. This sounds a little scientific for dessert here.
Well, that's just because I'm a scientific person. You then fill that with your marshmallows and a bit of chocolates. All right.
Are you using smaller marshmallows? I'm assuming.
Ideally, but like in theory, you could do it with big ones. I think if you don't have the small marshmallows, grab your bigger marshmallows and just tear them up. You can tear them. It's not that bad. They're not people. So you put them in your banana, right? You close said banana with the peel that is still attached. Please don't peel off the whole peel in the first step, right?
If you're following live by the campfire,
I know you're doing this live.
You might have messed up and peeled the full
Danny,
peel.
I know you're on that beach with that campfire on your lovely honeymoon. Please remember not to peel the whole banana. You then take a bit of tinfoil, wrap that sucker up, throw her in the coals. You let that melt. You let that cook. You pull it out, unwrap, and you got little like toasty melted banana marshmallow chocolate dessert. Get your spoon you use to scoop out bits of the banana and have at her. It comes in its own bowl.
There was no graham crackers in there, was there?
You can throw graham crackers in there. I'm not going to judge.
It sounds a little involved.
I mean,
now
I think part of the joy of the s'more / banana boat experience is that you get to make it yourself in the kind of nature scenario. So
sure, like if you're stuck out and it's like, Bear Grylls Man versus Wild, all you need is some marshmallows, a stick, a fire, and a banana, and then boom, you're ready to go, and a little bit of chocolate.
I think it's just turning the pleasant experience of roasted marshmallows into more of an interactive experience you get to share with your friends.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a big fan of marshmallows. Roasted marshmallows, no. It's like taking the caveman experience of roasting something over a fire and taking a fluffy ass marshmallow and be like, and like kidifying it here, like kids can do it too, and you like, I don't know. That not to shit on people who like marshmallows, I'm just not a big fan. I like graham crackers though.
Feel free to stop liking the video here, guys. It's okay.
No, give it unthumb it up and give it another thumb up. And I want you to put hashtag Team Banana Boat or hashtag Team No Banana Boat.
What about Team S'more?
No, team hashtag Team Banana No. There you go. All right, my number 3. Absolute classic. And now it might seem strange coming after my number 5, but I'm going with just ice cream on its own because it is like in the Hall of Fame of desserts. Specifically, vanilla ice cream. Now you might be thinking, how boring. Caolan's rolling his eyes.
Yeah.
You know why it's the most popular flavor of ice cream?
Because
it's the best kind there is.
Because it's cheaper.
No, because it's the best kind there is. If it was the cheapest flavor ice cream, it would be ice flavored or cream flavored. It's vanilla.
That's what most vanilla is flavored, though. It is just cream.
No, it's vanilla. Yep. Give me that vanilla bean. Ooh.
Oh, yeah. Don't get me wrong. French vanilla?
French vanilla? A little too, like... It's supposed to be vanilla, but it's, like, yellow. Ugh.
That's the color you get when you mix a brown bean into a white mixture
of
cream.
I'm not digging it. I also don't like when the ice cream comes, like, in a box. A box? What am I buying? Bricks? Come on. No. It also makes you think of like McFlurries and like from McDonald's or like a Dairy Queen Blizzard. Because personally, I just like the Oreo flavor, which is pretty much just vanilla ice cream with an Oreo in there.
Quick question: Are you more of a soft serve person or a scooped ice cream person?
Give me the scoop. I also like gelato as well, which is similar to ice cream. I'd say it's as similar to ice cream as a banana boat is to a s'more.
Yeah, I'm not judging. I'm happy.
So it's just a classic. Shout out vanilla ice cream.
Shout out vanilla. Again, as mentioned earlier, mint guy. My favorite ice cream flavor is from Laura Secord, little Canadian classic, French and frosted mint.
What's French about it?
So there's French mint and frosted mint.
What's French mint?
French mint is kind of what you would classically know as mint chocolate. So it's just like, if you go to Laura Secord and you order a French mint, it's chocolate that's mint flavored, right? It's very nice. Frosted mint is the ones that are actually green on the outside because they frosted it with like a mint icing, but the inside's just chocolate.
Sounds a little bougie.
I don't know why you have to judge things I love.
Who's saying bougie's an insult?
I feel like the tone of voice you said it in shared all we need to know about how you
feel. Oh, what?
It
didn't sound
bougie.
Loving? Sounds a little bougie.
That's not more loving. Were you trying to be more loving?
No, I was trying to be less. That was the joke. All right, you're number 2. This has been a long run of podcast.
Hey, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
I'm not in a rush.
Don't worry about it. It's fine. There's plenty of space on the laptop, John. You know what? We don't have to finish the top 10. We can just talk about you.
It says right here, disk space remains for recording 3 hours and 36 minutes, which is a lot, but there's actually not a lot of space overall on the laptop as it is. But anyways, we can continue.
Number 2. This one's a little European. It's a little European. John, your joke a couple of weeks ago when you said depends how you pronounce the European made me laugh out loud.
I'm not going to lie. You messaged me that and said, actually, LOL. And I just replied, LOL, because I didn't remember what you were talking about. Because there's stuff, dude, I don't remember. After the podcast, I just don't remember. That's why I have my notebook here with all of the previous top 5s and stuff.
I think, so I don't remember the exact joke, but it was something about, like, an accent, and you were saying it's like, I don't know, it's like jalapeno or jalapeno, depending on how you pronounce the European in it, or something like that. That was the basic of the joke. Oh, it was cool.
God damn, I'm so funny, listeners.
You know what, John, you are very, very funny. I wish you would use it for more good. Like the podcast. Please like John's positive output of his wits.
What do you mean more good? Like I use my comedy for evil?
You know, yeah.
Fundraiser drive for the satanic cult. I'm fundraising with my comedy.
I think you are quick to bring humor to other people's misfortune, kind of thing, or for other people's misfortune.
So, is that a positive or negative?
Well,
am I making them feel better, or am I just kicking them while they're down?
I've noticed, John, that when there's 3 people in a group, you will often choose to make fun of one for the benefit of the other.
Dude, that's a very easy way to score laughs.
Didn't say it wasn't easy. Just said, you know, it's not the nicest thing to do. John, my number 2, very European, the stroopwafel.
The hell is this?
You don't know what a stroopwafel is? Oh, it's glorious. So,
stroopwafel.
You are walking the streets of Amsterdam, as you often do.
Have you been to Amsterdam?
Yes, I have.
So this is a true story?
This is a true story.
Okay.
I didn't do it in Amsterdam. All right. You're walking the streets of the Pipe.
Of the what?
The Pipe.
What the hell's that?
It's a district in the Netherlands.
Okay.
It's very it has a lot of stalls. You see all the food stalls. Absolutely gorgeous. There's all the cheese you'd expect. A few places selling purses and jerseys and nothing else for some reason. Little deep fried meat treats, which is a favorite of the Dutch people. And then you smell it. That sweet aroma filling your nostrils. And you turn the corner and you see it. The stroopwafel maker.
Okay. Continue.
So I'll explain what a stroopwafel is. Basically, you can picture it like 2 layers of waffle that have been pressed together and like kind of grilled, filled with caramel. Kind of thing.
Okay.
So you kind of get this big disky cookie shape. And so you can go to the store right now and grab like, you know, a bag of like 12 little ones. And they're all about, you know, size of your, you know, fist-ish, right? And they're good. Nice little snack. But if you can get a fresh one, people, it is absolutely worth it.
Only by the stroopwafel maker? In the pipe?
To be fair, if you get a fresh one, it has to be made. The person who made it is a stroopwafel maker.
Is it like sushi where like you have to be trained, like an apprentice?
No, absolutely not. You get a little ball of dough, and you like clamp it down with this like George Foreman like grill, but it's like round. Like it's very simple. It looks very simple, to be honest. And then what they did at this one is they would kind of dip it in this caramel, and you could also get it dipped in chocolate. Now I was in line, and the person in front of me, I was looking, I said, "Ooh, I get it dipped in chocolate. That sounds nice." And she turned around and said, "Don't get it dipped in chocolate. What are you doing?" That's my Dutch impression, by the way. I apologize. And at first I was like, she would know. She comes all the time. But I stuck to my guns and got it dipped in chocolate. Fantastic. People, try some stroopwafel. Try some international desserts.
So where would I go to get this?
Oh, you can go to the grocery store. John, next time I see you, I'll get you some stroopwafel. Okay, well, go to Amsterdam or some Dutch food festival, I guess.
A Dutch food festival. Surely there's got to be one.
There's got to be one.
All right. My number 2.
Number 2?
It's not the best, but I feel like it should be number 1 just because of the vibes.
Okay.
It's all about good vibes. My number 2, pumpkin pie. Got those Caolan's rolling his eyes back because he's fainting because he's like, how couldn't this be number 1? You got the Thanksgiving vibes. Thanksgiving, you eat the turkey. You're like, oof, I'm getting tired. Because it's actually a myth, turkey don't make you tired. But you're tired just from eating, right? Caolan knows the sentiment I'm sharing here very well. He's nodding right now. He's not nodding, but you eat the turkey, you got your mashed potatoes, you eat all that stuff, and you're just like, you let it digest a little, And then it's like, who wants pumpkin pie? You're like, ooh, I want some pumpkin pie. You get up, pumpkin pie. You got to have it with the whipped cream. Pumpkin pie without whipped cream? No, this is a combo. Number 2 is pumpkin pie with whipped cream. If you don't have whipped cream or you don't eat it with whipped cream, just get out. Just get out of my life. I don't need that negativity. Oof. It's just the vibes. Makes you think of Thanksgiving. It's just that taste. And because you know why? Pumpkin pie is so special because it's rare. You cannot eat pumpkin pie in March. Ugh, what are you, some kind of psychopath?
Yeah.
You probably still have your Christmas lights up. You can only eat it around the fall. Typically, you only eat it on Thanksgiving.
Typically.
If you really appreciate the sanctity and the sacredness of pumpkin pie.
Yeah.
And just so good. Now, I take it from your reaction, you don't like pumpkin pie?
I'm not a big pumpkin pie guy. No, I gotta admit. But John, I got a quick question for you.
Yeah.
Was your family one of those Costco pumpkin pie people, the big 12-incher?
No.
Oh.
We would get it from some farm, which was, I learned all these years later, didn't make their own pumpkin pies. It actually came from the same boutique farmer's market that Dan works at.
That's fantastic.
There you go. Or sometimes my aunt will make pumpkin pie herself from scratch. But it's really just a vehicle for the whipped cream.
You know what it is? I'm just not a massive cinnamon person.
You know what? I don't like cinnamon either. I'm not a big fan.
I think pumpkin pie is
pumpkin
heavy
pie?
in cinnamon.
But it's heavier in pumpkin.
Yeah.
And Thanksgiving vibes.
I get it.
Number 2. All right.
Number 2.
Time for the honorable mentions. Would you believe we've already hit the record for the longest podcast right now?
Oh, I'm so proud of ourselves. I'd like to thank everyone. I'd like to thank Dan for taking a nice long vacation.
Get me off Caolan's wild ride.
Ooh. Oh, ouch. Sorry, bud. All right, Caolan's honorable mentions. Caolan's got 10 things written down. He doesn't think 5 of them are worth talking about.
What? You're only supposed to have one honorable mention. Dan is beside himself on the plane right now.
All right.
Listen,
I will drop this down to 1, and though it pains me to do so.
You can tell me the other ones personally after, but the listeners value their time.
John, you don't care.
No, I care. But
Oh, thanks, man. All right.
No, I don't.
Caolan's honorable mention. Cannoli.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, cannoli. A good cannoli is good enough to allow improvised lines into, I hope I get this movie right. I think it's The Godfather.
What he says? That's a one spicy cannoli.
No, the cannoli
Isn't that the
spicy.
line?
No, there's one
No,
where he's
like spicy, Italian people use the word spicy as a term of endearment. Ooh, you look so spicy in that dress. That's what they say to their wife before they go out.
Uh-huh.
Right?
I think that it might have been Goodfellas. I can't remember if this was Godfather or Goodfellas, but there's a scene where they kill a guy in a car or something. He's like,
spoilers.
He's like, hey, leave the card. He's like, leave the gun and get the cannoli, because there's cannoli in the back seat because they were picking up cannoli. Anyway, cannoli.
Wait, that line's improvised?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they have that line originally in the script?
No.
They're gonna just leave the cannoli behind?
Yeah.
There's gonna be fingerprints all over the cannoli. It sounds like some terrible logic. Good thing
Listen.
the guy threw that line in there.
Absolutely. So yeah, cannoli is a
Get that
honorable
cannoli.
mention.
It's just so spicy.
Yeah, I had some great ones here, but I went with cannoli.
All right, mine. Another classic. I feel like my desserts are all powered not by the dessert itself, but by the vibes. Okay. My my honorable mention: rainbow chip birthday cake,
What is this?
otherwise known as funfetti.
What is this?
What do you mean? What is this? You never
What
had
is
rainbow chip birthday cake?
I don't understand the words you're saying. I understand all those words individually, but you're just shouting them all together. Rainbow chip
Yes.
birthday cake.
Yes.
Bring me on the journey, John. What is this?
It's your birthday. Okay?
Oh, I'm very happy.
Every year on your birthday, people eat cake, right?
Yeah.
Normally. Bring out the cake, and it's a rainbow chip birthday cake.
Again, you're just saying it louder.
What do you mean? You don't know what rainbow chip is?
Well, is rainbow
Okay,
chip
what's a birthday cake?
It's I know that white cake. I understand birthday cake. That's that white cake with the white icing, and then they'll put sprinkles on it. I get that. That makes sense.
What's in the dough of the cake? Is it just plain white, like a vanilla cake?
Well, that's ones I've seen. So, okay. I think I'm starting to picture what you're talking about. So it's little dots of color in the inside.
Yes, those are the rainbow chips.
Okay. Are they chocolate?
I don't know what they are. They're magic. That's what it is. Okay,
Magic.
They're magic.
You know what? You sold me, John. Give me a slice of magic.
So, a couple years ago on my birthday, my girlfriend made me one of these rainbow chip birthday cakes.
How nice.
How nice. Thank you, Taryn. It was a delicious cake. Now, she called it funfetti, and I was like, what? What the hell's funfetti? And I had never heard this before, and I'm like, woman, it's rainbow chip? What do you mean funfetti? I'd never heard the term. Then we were watching Jersey Shore Family Vacation. Spoilers, I watched that show. It's pretty entertaining. But anyways, you got the situation on there. He loves his food, right? I mean, who doesn't? But he also used the term funfetti. I think we watched it like a little later in that same year she made the cake. And she's like, look, see? And I'm like, this is the thing. I refuse. I don't like the term funfetti. It's like, just throws me off. But like a rainbow chip birthday cake, it's just a classic. Tastes good. You got the birthday vibes. Now, even if you don't eat it on your birthday, typically, some people call this type of cake like birthday cake. Like if you go somewhere and you get like a birthday cake flavored blizzard, let's say.
Yeah.
There you go. Just my honorable mention.
That's lovely. John, I love how you bring your journey with dessert to the fans.
That's what I do. All right.
Caolan's number one dessert. This one's a bit of a phone-in. It's a bit of a phone-in.
A bit of a phone-in
It's
for
a bit of a
number one?
phone-in.
I don't know if I approve of this.
You know what? I
Dan's going to be shaking his head on the plane. You got to bring the goods.
Let's be real. Dan, if Dan was here and you weren't, I would not have been invited. All right. I'm sorry, Dan. I love you, but I know the rankings. It's okay. I don't hold it against you. All right. Caolan's number one. It's Sundays.
Okay.
That classic must-have dessert. Makes everyone happy. A sundae is just exactly what one should be having for dessert. Layers of ice cream coupled with toppings like fudge, bits of cookie crumble, perhaps some diced up peanuts, squirt of whipped cream on top, and a maraschino cherry. My God, there better be a maraschino cherry. Everything else is optional. If a bowl with a maraschino cherry is more of a sundae than most other options out there.
If it's literally just a bowl with only one single cherry in there?
It's more of a sundae than a bowl of ice cream.
Now, sundae is spelled S-U-N-D-A-E. They used to be spelt the same way. I thought I read the story one time about how they were invented. They were like sold outside of some church or something on Sundays, and then, I don't know, the church like complained or something, and eventually they changed the name to be spelt the way it is now. I don't know if that's correct or not, but write into scruffcast@gmail.com and let me know. But
I mean,
I'm not going to say that's a phone-in. It's a little more
it's just so
straightforward than
traditional.
the Stroop waffle. But
yeah, it's just so traditional. But I think there's
more
nothing
traditional than I picked literally just ice cream.
No.
For my number 3.
Oh, number 3. Well, I just think that there's nothing wrong with, simplicity. There's nothing wrong with something that is traditional in your life, something that has just been there for you, the way Sundays have for me. So Sundays, I love you. I love you more than anything in this world.
When times are tough, when I lied to Miss Sloat about being born in Ireland, nobody would be my friend. I had Sundays to drown my sorrows.
I love Sundays. I think they're the best dessert. I think you can't go wrong with a sundae. I think everyone loves a good sundae.
Fair enough. And now my number 1, a well-beloved dessert. I know it's one of your bottom 5 because it was in your list. You told me earlier. You said you threw it. You're like, oh, these are my shitty desserts. I'm not throwing in. Number 1, the cheesecake. Now, Caolan going like he doesn't like it. Bruh, cheesecakes are delicious. You ever seen that video of that kid? He's like, chicken nuggets are like my family. That's like me, but with cheesecake. Okay? So delicious. Now, specifically, because there's so many different kinds of cheesecake, right? You still have the core, right? The core is the same. That cheesecake, right? But then you got like the crumble on the bottom, and you can have different sort of toppings. And I can tell you the 2 best cheesecakes I've ever had in my life. Number 1, it's really tough to pick which one of these was number 1, but this restaurant in Burlington, Ontario, had a banana cheesecake, and boy, I love banana flavored stuff. They have this delicious banana cheesecake. It was like the best part of going to that restaurant because the food was it was okay. But the cheesecake, love that cheesecake. So
you have a lovely voice, John.
One time I went there and then they didn't have the cheesecake anymore. We're like, what? Oh. No cheesecake. And we asked the waitress, and she's like, no, they got rid of it because they shipped it from Alberta or something. And I'm like, no. And I'm like, God damn, I never want to come back here again. I think I've only been back once or twice since I got rid of the cheesecake. But
I mean, that's harsh.
That is harsh. No cheesecake, no business. No bueno. And the second best kind,
bueno.
white chocolate raspberry cheesecake.
Wow.
From the Cheesecake Factory. I had it. They have this like style of cheesecake at other places as well, but I remember going to the Cheesecake Factory, which first off, shout out, they have like literally 30 types of cheesecake, probably more, and I'm like, damn, that's a lot of cheesecake, and somehow picked this one on the list. I've only been to the Cheesecake Factory one time, and I was like, whew, that's good cheesecake.
I get it. No, I'm not
like,
going to dump on it.
let's be honest, how many kinds of food are good enough that you can have the blank factory as your name? I can think of two.
Go
and I
on.
saw you jumping up to say Spaghetti Factory in the Cheesecake Factory. You can't have the Shawarma Factory. Goddamn, I love shawarma, but it doesn't work the
I
same.
bet there's a shawarma factory out there. Pizza factory?
Is that a thing?
I think that's a thing.
I disagree.
I think it's a thing.
It's probably a thing somewhere, but like I'm talking a well-known thing. Like, did any one of the listeners, and there are numerous, jump up and go, Pizza Factory, yeah! Or just acknowledge, yes, the Pizza Factory, like they know what it is. Probably not.
Yeah. I thought you were going to ask the question, what's a food that's good enough to put in the title of the restaurant? I was like, Red Lobster, obviously.
Oh, I see. Well,
Although if they were
Burger King, there's so many.
I mean, to be honest, Red Lobster, the real reason you go there is for the cheddar biscuits.
Yeah, those cheese cheddar biscuits.
Oh,
Delicious.
that's good. Good stuff.
All right,
John,
well,
I love your picks. I like a good cheesecake. I just struggle to find them. My girlfriend makes a lovely cheesecake. I think I like the reason is that it's just a lighter taste than most cheesecakes. I think the density of it just hard for me to handle. Falls outside of my top 5. Nothing wrong with the pick.
fair enough. All right, shall we go through, recap the lists, and then let the listeners go on with their day? We're reached an hour and 20 minutes. I can just imagine Dan shaking his head when he goes to download this episode. All right. Caolan's number 5, DQ, Dairy Queen ice cream cake. Number 4, crepes. Number 3, s'more / banana boat. Number 2, stroop waffle. Honorable mention, the spesse cannoli. And number 1, the sundae. John, me, top 5. Number 5, the brownie and ice cream. Number 4, funnel cake, rat's nest of dough. Number 3, literally just ice cream. I don't know how it can be ranked higher than brownie and ice cream. I'm taking more dessert away, but that's my ranking. Number 2, pumpkin pie and whipped cream, or ghetto. My honorable mention, or rainbow chip birthday cake, otherwise known as funfetti. And my number 1, cheesecake. That'll do. That was a pretty good list.
Good list. It's somehow made me hungry despite all the food we ate for dinner.
Yes, went out for chicken and waffles. That was pretty tasty.
Pretty good. Get that cornbread.
All right. We had the same problem last time where forget how to end it because Dan always ends it. Last time he said, catch you next week, but Dan's not catching you. He's not even here.
That's okay. Would you like me to end it again, John?
You ended it last time.
I feel like I did it last time, but I really want to give you the chance to. You know, you're sitting in the other chair, and you run this show so well. You know, you're a big part of this team, and I think you should have the last word.
Well, thank you for the compliments, Cal. Thank you. I do run it very well, if I do say so myself. So, I'm just going to say thanks for listening. And I don't want to steal, though Dan always says thanks for listening, we'll catch you next week. I had to come up with something else. Share it with your friends. Let them know the magic that is the ScruffCast. If you have any stories, email us. Were you a conflict manager? Have you never heard of these things? Just email us. Tell your friends. Is Grandma in the nursing home? Go over there and share with her and the old people. You know how many times it's going to take them to download it? We'll get so many downloads, spike. Have I downloaded it yet? Whoa, boom, boom, boom. They're going to spike, and then we're going to get MeUndies on here in no time. So just take that visual with you, and we'll see you guys next week.
As I'm watching her go all out, thinking this, oh damn that bad thing. I can tell you're really good at distracting.
They say to their wife before they go out.